Hello, I'm Yan and welcome to a small series where I'll be showing you how I draw. We'll start this series off with the first step, which is sketch / line art. A lot of people have asked how I sketch since in my time lapses and speed paints you don't really see much of the quote-unquote sketch process, but the reason is pretty simple. I hate doing line art. It always turns out weird and it doesn't really work out the way I want it to, so I try to do my sketches as clean as possible. It also speeds up my process so much because I can go straight into coloring right after the sketch and I don't have to clean it again in rendering. First things first, the brush you use is important. For my style, I use these brushes most of the time, and the way I go at it is pretty simple. If you use a low opacity brush or a low pressure sensitivity brush, it'll make your sketch look more sketch-ish and vice versa, right? Okay, let's start the first sketch with Robin from Honkai Star Rail. And I don't play Star Rail anymore. I used to play, but now I just kind of follow sometimes what people say on Twitter, or just kind of follow a bit of the story and the characters because the characters are kind of cool, right? So I usually start my sketch with a circle and the basic guidelines. Important note, I do the guidelines, but I don't really follow them. I just have them there to have them there, not really follow them as they are. I just have them there to be able to visualize where certain parts are gonna be and where the angle is facing, right? So you see me here erasing the guidelines later. I usually do this. Sometimes I keep them there if the guidelines aren't too visible, but usually I would erase them as I go. Then I place the nose. The nose is I feel like it's a very important part of the face. Once you lay down the nose well, you can do the rest of the face well. I think that's the way I see it, right? So then I would sometimes do the neck and the shoulders to kind of have the pose laid out. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I just finish the face first and then I do the rest of the body. It really depends on the sketch and on my mood. And then I follow it up with eyes and mouth. Sometimes you see me switch those up, sometimes mouth first, sometimes eyes first. It really is really up to you. It doesn't really matter, right? So then you basically sketch in a way. You need to be able to not be scared of erasing with this kind of way of sketching, right? Because if you hold on to certain parts of the sketch too much and you don't erase, then it becomes way too sketchy and then it becomes messy. So I kind of learned to not be afraid to erase certain parts and redrawing them. It's kind of different for traditional art, right? For digital you can just undo and then redo sometimes, but you need to be able to erase and redraw stuff. Don't be afraid of that. That's a very important part, right? And that's another important thing. If you don't want to erase and redraw, you just use the lasso tool. Use that thing. It's very helpful. I've been using the lasso tool for all of my works, honestly. That's such a savior. So now, as you can see, I usually continue with doing the hair for her and then I did the wings. So kind of you need to plan out the sketch in your head in a way so certain elements don't overlap with each other. Kind of makes sense, right? Because if you sketch, let's say, I don't really have an example on here, but let's say you sketch something that is in the background too detailed and then you have to sketch something over and it's not going to be visible anyway, so that's kind of how you go at it. So you would draw, you saw me here there drawing the wings first and then doing the hair. So if I were to draw hair first, I would have to erase the wings and stuff like that. So it's kind of a little bit of planning going on there. Then I struggled a bit with her halo. Her halo is so pretty, honestly. But it was kind of hard to draw. But yeah, it was very fun drawing her. She's very, very pretty. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to just re-download it and just to pull for her. But to go through the steps of re-downloading it and then deleting it again, it's I'm kind of lazy. But yeah, that's basically it, right? So another thing that I like to do in my sketches is adding a bit of shadows. I don't put much of the shadows, so it doesn't turn too, how do I say it, too sharp in a way, because I would color these sketches later, so I don't have to render over the big shadows. I usually would make a big shadow under the chin, and then certain parts that are kind of I feel like would differentiate and make the sketch a bit more interesting than if it were just simple or like same weight lines. Yeah, if the lines were the same, kind of understand. Yeah, kind of makes sense, right? I hope I'm making sense, bro. I don't know how to do tutorials, but yeah, that's how you would go at it. Basically, that's how I do my sketches. That's not much science going on. Energy is done. Yippee! I think she turns out very well. Now you can watch Sunday. Here's a speed paints of Sunday. I struggled with Sunday, honestly. That guy is kind of hard to draw. His halo is annoying. But yeah, another important note that I have for this way of drawing is if you don't have a strong foundation of anatomy and you don't really know how certain parts or body parts interact, it will be hard for you to draw like straight up, just go at it. But it honestly, this way of doing the sketches, it's not much different from just sketching and then cleaning that. Even if it's messy and then you clean that up, it will take time, but it's the same principle in a way. So yeah, learn the anatomy, learn how things work, how body parts work, and then you can just go for it. Then we just ball, right? I also started that way. I also started doing messy sketches and then cleaning those up because I kind of knew early on that line art wasn't really a thing for me. I was really struggling with line art. I didn't look well, right? So I tried to figure out how to draw without having to do line art, and so the sketch somehow still looks acceptable. Because sometimes rendering, if I have to fix a lot of stuff in rendering, let's say if I have a very messy sketch and then have to render that and clean that up a lot, and also that doesn't really work for me either. So this was the only way that works for me. So just make a clean sketch, y'all. Just clean sketches. But really, it also speeds up stuff so much. It really does, right? So yeah, learn your anatomy. Don't skip your art studies. That's a very important step. Look up tutorials. Look up artists, big artists. I'll put some on the screen because I don't remember their usernames. I'm so sorry. But post editing, put them on the screen later. I learned from these people and they were very helpful. So yeah, do your studies, do your anatomy, know your things, and then you can just run with the line art. Why sketches when you can do line art? We cope. Okay, the sketches are done. These two sketches, both of them took me around 20 minutes, not over 20 minutes. Robin was a bit faster. Sunday took a bit of a longer time because of his halo and his annoying face, but sorry for the fans. I love him too, don't worry. But yeah, that's how I do sketches. really. Just practice, learn the stuff. Don't skip art studies, they are very important. And if you're interested and would like me to make a video explaining how I do art studies, or if you have any suggestions that you'd like me to do or try, you can comment down below. Y'all, I'm so awkward with this. I don't know how to do tutorials. I suck. I'm so sorry, but I hope you managed to gain a little bit of knowledge from this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much, that is very helpful. Check out my social media. Usually I post on Instagram. I sometimes stream here when I have time. I'll try to make more art tutorials. I have some things planned, so I'll try my best to follow up. Check out my streams sometimes. Yes. Happy drawing and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.